All right. Last time we kind of checked in on the Zack Martin holdout saga for the Cowboys. He had incurred about kind of $500,000 in fines. Well, now that's up to $600,000 in fines because it's the 12th day of training camp and he's missed all 12. Well, the Cowboys' Jerry Jones keeps making controversial statements about this holdout. Remember last week the statement was he was asked about, I'm paraphrasing, he was asked about Zack Martin's holdout, and essentially he mentioned he's got to pay other guys, and then mentioned one of the guys. He mentioned Micah Parsons. Said, listen, I got to pay Micah Parsons. And basically that Micah's got your money, so I can't pay you now. Here is the latest. This comes from Calvin Watkins of the Dallas Morning News. The latest in that Zack Martin holdout saga is Jerry Jones was asked about it. He said surprise is really not the word for his reaction to the holdout. He said it's very costly, and so that's where we are. Huge, significant ramifications happening here by anybody's measurement financially. And he basically went on to say that they're drawing a line in the sand. The Cowboys, he believes they're at a stalemate now. Zack Martin has 2 years left on his deal. It was a 6-year deal initially. He wants more than the $13.5 million that he is due right now. He is right now the 8th highest paid guard in the NFL. And his yearly average is around $14 million. And he is, the best guard in the NFL by a lot of people's estimations. Even I think Madden gave him a 99 overall rating. And Clarence Hill of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram had this when he quoted Jerry Jones about the holdout from Zack Martin. He said, you realize that not having him here, it could happen on the next play and you're not happy. So you've got to put that one on and say, we'll just move on here without him. But you say, boy, that sounds concerning. No, I'm just trying to give you how you really have to look at it. So they're preparing, you listen to this statement, to move on without him if this becomes a long-term holdout. So this could end up, and I think the easiest way this Zack Martin thing gets remedied and they figure it out and he gets paid is they start to realize basically how much risk they're putting their quarterback in. Without Zack Martin there, who is a Hall of Fame guard, because the guys they have to fill that void, I think, are Matt Forniak and Josh Ball right now, and neither one of those guys is dependable, I should say.
Yeah, we're proven. Certainly not to the Hall of Fame level of Zack Martin. No, this is interesting, and we've talked about it, Rod. You played in the National Football League. You understand, because people will immediately text us and say, well, Jerry's a billionaire, pay him his money. Look, the players all make money from the same pool of money, right? I mean, the agreed upon 48.5% of total league revenue is what creates the salary cap. So if Zack Martin wants to get some more money right now, it's going to come from another player. Or a future another player, because that's just how the pool of money works. Jerry Jones can't go into his own pocket and pay Zack Martin. It's got to be within the parameters of the salary cap and the payroll structure. And here's the argument against what Zack Martin is doing. Zack Martin did sign that 6-year contract, $84 million. He got $20 million in a bonus and $40 million guaranteed. And then, so he agreed to the long-term salary, which he wanted. He wanted that long-term security. If Zack Martin wanted to be the highest paid guard all along, he would sign a series of 2-year contracts and then redo them consistently and put himself there. He took the 6-year deal when he was, 26 years old. And, of course, this is what Jerry Jones is saying. Look, we paid him handsomely as a first-round draft pick when he came into the league. We re-upped him as soon as we could and gave him the 6-year, $84 million deal with $40 guaranteed and $20 up front. And so, his average year-by-year salary is going to be lesser than, because he got all his money up front. So now when he's making $14 million versus the $20 million guard down the street at the other team, that's out of whack. But that guard down the street didn't get $84 million up front and $40 million guaranteed. So that's his argument. And Jerry Jones is saying, we need to do this. Zack, we re-upped you after your rookie deal and gave you huge money, and it was a lot guaranteed. We got to do the same thing with Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb in the coming offseason, and we've paid you. And yes, you're a Hall of Famer, but we need you here for what you agreed to, and that's your contract. I
agree, but contracts are renegotiated all the time.
I know.
And if you're Zack Martin, and right now you're at your peak. Right now, they say you're the best guard in the league. I do wonder why Jerry Jones can't just give him, a short-term kind of payoff and restructure things for him to give him a short-term payoff just for this season, and then we can reassess in the offseason what you want to do with Zack Martin. Don't act like Jerry ain't done this. This is why this is interesting. All the points you made are valid. This is why it's really interesting, because Jerry's playing hardball and drawing a line in the sand with Zack Martin as Hall of Fame guard. He didn't. DeMarcus Lawrence did this a couple of years ago, and he gave DeMarcus Lawrence some money.
He did.
Zeke skipped the damn line. He let Zeke get paid before his quarterback got paid. He let Zeke skip the line. He gave Jalen Smith a new deal when nobody, not even Jalen Smith, wanted a new deal. He was like, damn, you giving me money? Thank you, I appreciate it. He has done this time and time again. All right, Jerry Jones, the St. Jude of the NFL, who loves the troubled yet talented player, he has always given money out to guys that he likes. And I know, I'm not saying it was good business, but this is a change, all right, in the pattern for Jerry Jones. And it may just be him changing his ways at, how old is he? 80 years old or whatever he is. But I think Zack Martin's like, why are you changing your ways with me?
I'm
a Hall of Fame guard. I gave you all your money's worth. And I protect your most important asset, which is your quarterback. There are certain things in life you shouldn't skimp on. You know, you can try to save money on some things, but certain things in life you just need to pay full price and pay good money for. Condoms, surgery, all right? Don't get to 2-for-1 laser eye surgery. That's stupid, all right? Toilet paper, even during a crisis when everybody goes to buy the toilet paper from HEB, they leave that cheap toilet paper up there. Even people who are broke and on food stamps, they buy name brand toilet paper, okay? Because nobody wants the cheap toilet paper. Lawyer, all right? Don't skimp on a lawyer. Don't mess around with that. A cheap lawyer, he's cheap for a reason, or she is cheap for a reason, all right? The top dollar ones are the best ones. And O-line. Don't skimp on it.
Especially Hall of Fame O-line.
Hall of Fame O-line. Don't skimp on the O-line, dude. Protect your quarterback, which is also something nobody skimps on. Yeah, we overpay that position. So my point for Jerry is, why Zack Martin? You've made exceptions for a lot of guys. Why are you drawing the line in the sand with this guy? And by the way, the salary cap, come on, guys. We know what the salary cap is. The salary cap can be maneuvered. You can't manipulate it, but like taxes, you can avoid them. You just can't evade them. So there are ways around the salary cap. We all know this. Go look at that deal. Remember the Jalen Hurts deal Jalen Hurts signed? Anybody remember that deal?
I do.
Anybody remember the way Howie Roseman structured that deal? Anybody remember the cap hits for Jalen Hurts? Let's go look at them. The cap hits for Jalen Hurts on his new deal, 5 years, $255 million. Here are the cap hits. $6 million this year, $13 million in 2024, $21 million in 2025, $31 million in 26, $45 in 27, $54 million in 2028. You want to go see Dak Prescott's cap hits? Do you want me to give them to you? Dak Prescott's cap hit 17. It was in 20. This is after this new deal was signed. 17 in 2021, 19 in 2022, 26 in 23, but 59 in 24. Some teams are just better at maneuvering the cap. And the Cowboys, they could find that money. That money is out there.
Oh, sure it is.
You restructure,
all
you reallocate, you backload, you front load. There are tons of ways to do it. Jerry is telling Zack Martin, I don't want to find your money. I could go find that money. That money is in some contract somewhere down the line. You can go find that money. I don't want to find you that money. He's making a statement. And my point is, why make it with Zack Martin?
No, that's a great. That's your point of what he's done in the past. Now, look, I'm assuming his agent is telling him, look, Jerry will blink on this, because to your point of Zeke getting into blink, he went to Cabo.
DeMarcus Lawrence was going to leave. He said I was going to leave. And Jerry called him and said, "I'll give you the money, bro."
And Zack Martin at 32 years old knows his last chance to maybe get this renegotiation done is right now, before Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb and that balloon payment that comes due on Dak Prescott. His agent can read these things too and say, "Hey, get your money now. Hold out. You know, Jerry will blink. Jerry will blink. He'll say all this in early August, but come closer and closer to game time, he'll blink, because Mike McCarthy will be going to him saying what you're saying. What are you doing? We got a plan to be a power running team this year. We got a plan here, Jerry.
Come on.
Why are you messing with my Hall of Fame guard, who's going to be the lead in that power? Can we go ahead and get that done?" And I think your point is right on, that precedent would tell you that Jerry will blink before the season starts.
Well, they're also looking at a contract extension for Dak Prescott, which could definitely free up a lot of money if you restructure that.
Well, maybe that's the point too. They're trying to get that done to avoid that balloon payment you just talked about to Dak, to give that to Zack Martin and get this thing done, and still reserve the funds that you want for Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb.
But as a Cowboys fan, I don't know how I feel about extending Dak for 3 or 4 more years is what it's looking like right now.
Well, you're hitched to him, man.
Yeah, he's your guy.
The next guy out in Dallas will be Mike McCarthy.
But you know what? That's why the Cowboys are changing course. They believe there are 2 ways to win a Super Bowl: elite quarterback play or elite defense /pass rush. And the Cowboys are closer to the latter than they are to the former. And they realize that now. They're like, damn, Dak's not going to be elite. It's not. We can build around as much as we want, but he needs a ton of weapons around him, and that offense needs to be the Texas Coast offense and Dak friendly as possible. Defense, we may have a Hall of Fame defensive player who could change the game the way it's played with Michael Parsons, and we got a Dan Quinn. I think that's why they're going that direction now.
Right, agreed. And the Dak deal would be to free up some money to give to Zack. And somebody said, what are Zack demands? He just wants to be among the highest paid guards in the league right now, commensurate to his talent level. But the contract he signed 6 years ago, that's the deal he's living on right now.
No, he signed a long-term deal. You can't have both. You can't be. Look at Patrick Mahomes. What is he right now? He need a seventh, eighth, exactly.
Ninth highest paid quarterback.
Why? Because his deal was a 10-year deal. You can't have security of the 10-year deal and also want to be the highest paid player
year by year.
You can't do it. You got to choose. Hey, I'm going to a short-term deal.
The players also have to include that money they got up front that they're not accounting for 5 years later. Well, you got $40 million in your pocket on day one. That's pretty good. But I get the point from the players' side. I get Jerry's, and I think he'll blink before they need to because they're not going into the season without Zack Martin playing right guard for them.
That'd be a huge mistake.
It would be a huge mistake
because you got big games early on.
Yeah, you do.